afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is John Paul Rai, and I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Today's shout out goes to Geekful, who's been dropping me some really quality comments. Thank you very much for the support, and good luck to you. So today we'll be talking about Princess Leia and why she is the best strong female character. And the thing is, people who defend The Last Jedi and the Disney trilogy in general say there wasn't enough women in the original Star Wars movies, so that's why we have all these women. Well, the thing is this. When you look at the original Star Wars movies, the prequels and the original trilogy, there was only 3 main characters they revolved around, and the rest were minor characters, and they were background and things to kind of develop the world. And when you look at the prequels, let's go in order, you have Padme, Ben, and Anakin. And the story really revolved around those 3 characters, and Padme was actually the strongest one of the 3 characters. She was in the government, she already had an established, base of power, and Ben and Anakin were pretty much her glorified bodyguards. And then moving forward to the original trilogy, we have the 3 main characters, Han, Luke, and Leia. And when you think about it, they're the only 3 that the story revolves around in a real way. So we have Yoda and Ben, we have Lando, we have Chewie, we have the droids, but these aren't main characters. These are the characters on the side who are just world building and help create this fantastic world. And the emotional story and the main storyline revolves around Luke, Leia, and Han. So I would argue that there are enough strong female presence in the original Star Wars movies because it only revolves around 3 people, and one of them is a woman. In The Last Jedi especially, we have all the men cowards or incompetent, and none of them are actually very powerful. I mean, Luke is theoretically powerful, and we see him do something great at the end, but throughout the movie, he's just pretty much wants to stay out of the battle. And Snoke, this is where all the shills come in, like, Snoke is so powerful, he could have killed Rey, and this and that, and ultimately, Snoke didn't do anything. It's all in their minds what he could have done. And we have to go by what's in the films and what was actually shown. So then we have DJ, and before The Last Jedi we thought he was going to be kind of cool, and he ends up being an actual, skip out, so to speak. Han Solo in the first one, we have this development that he kind of likes Leia, and he might stay, but he might not. So when he comes back, it's not really this huge shock. So it's a little bit different. DJ really just comes and goes, and it'd be pretty surprising if he was back. That wouldn't make too much sense. The last point I want to make is that Rey and Rose are not very feminine. They're not, very ladylike, okay? So I guess Holdo was ladylike, but he's, I almost said he's, but she's only in it for a short time, and she's not a main character. But you can count Rey and Rose as, Rose has enough screen time to count her as a main. She's not a main character as far as the main 3, Poe, Rey, and Finn, but she's in there quite enough. So this is called Why Princess Leia is the Archetypal Strong Woman Female Leads Can't Replace. Okay? So here's the thing. Leia was feminine. She was a woman, and she was graceful, and she was also tough. So let me read a little bit of this really fast. This brings us to the beautiful strength of Princess Leia. She was feminine enough to be rescued by the guys and wooed by Han, but badass enough to lead the rebellion that brought down the friggin' Galactic Empire. Although she could mix it up when she had to, just ask Jabba the Hutt, she usually stayed back and let the men do the direct fighting. Yet there was never any question about who the emotional center of the rebellion and the trio of Han, Leia, and Luke was. While Han was vacillating between being a rebel or a rogue, and Luke was disobeying his Jedi Master, Leia always was the Rock. She had a mission to overthrow the Empire, and nothing could keep that from her. So when you think about it, in a way, Leia was like a good example of how a woman should be strong, because we don't have to show Han and Luke as this, deadbeat dad and hermit and be weak to show the women be strong. Luke was still strong. He was a great Jedi, he was powerful, and Han was strong in his own way, but Leia was really the one who was focused, and she wasn't really messing things up, and, she was just going in a straight line when Luke and Han were kind of all over, and that's kind of a really subtle way to show how strong the woman is, and how the men are kind of making mistakes. Let me read a bit more about her relationship with Han, and this brings us to Reylo. If Reylo happened, it just would make no sense. You could say there's some setup for it, maybe, but not on a real emotional level that would become a relationship. Yet Leia was always pure woman. It wasn't she who aggressively pursued Han. Instead, she allowed herself to be pursued. In most movies today, the female character is the one who initiates the first kiss. Think of Ginny in Harry Potter, for example, supposedly showing that she's in control, but Leia allowed Han to be the lead in their romantic relationship. All the while, she remained the leader of the rebellion that Han was part of. Likewise, she was a damsel in distress, having to be rescued by the guys in A New Hope, although she then had to help them actually escape. Again, we have a really good usage of damsel in distress, but a twist on that where Han and Luke saved her, but then they got into a mess and she got them out of it. So in the original Star Wars, you have really good writing and really good examples of a strong woman, and in The Last Jedi, we just have this forced notion of it. And it just really amazes me why people who are defending it don't see that. So this last part of the article I found pretty interesting and rather remarkable. I am the father of 6 daughters, and it is my wife's and my hope that they grow into strong women. Not strong women apping the strengths of men, but strong women with the unique strengths that are part of the feminine mystique. Princess Leia was one of the few Hollywood examples of that type of woman, and Carrie Fisher should always be remembered for playing the iconic princess so well. So that's the thing. You could put 100 strong women in The Last Jedi and 100 strong women in the next Star Wars movie, but if there's no substance to the character and their cardboard cutouts, it can't equal one strong woman. It can't make up for that. And the thing is, it seems like the attitude in Hollywood these days is quantity over quality. And the fact is, quality really trumps quantity when you're talking about movies. Anyway, that's all I got for you today, and one of the points of these videos is if you run into somebody who is defending The Last Jedi and says, well, there weren't any strong women except Leia in the original Star Wars, then give them some of these points. And this community is growing little by little. Please click that subscribe button, and I'm going to leave you with Leia's theme by Ross Skywalker. Here it is.